Hello, students. Today I want to talk to you about what is application support, whether it's application support analyst or engineering. Um, it's probably this is one of the most important video that I'll be making because I want to make my case as to what it is, why we need it, and so on. So I want to start by saying that enterprise level applications, they exist and they're increasing. They're probably we see this across multiple industries, whether it's financial industry, healthcare. These applications exist and they're increasing and they have a bigger audience. Um, these type of applications, they usually require a lot of attention in terms of maintenance and general functionality from the time that a company signs a contract to the time that the application is being onboarded, documented, customized. There's a lot that goes here. And what it is that most of these applications are not enterprise level applications to begin with. They were just created by some sort of a startup, and the startup that was creating the software didn't have a lot of budget. Most probably they had very limited budget to start, and they never they never could foresee how big this is going to become. So now, as a result, you have an application that is working, but it was not designed with scalability and best practices in mind. Even those applications that are well designed by well established software companies, they still have shortcomings. And what it is that once they start making money, they're not going to go back. It's very unlikely that they go back and they redesign the whole thing. It's not worth the effort. They're already making the money. It's so much easier for them to hire a bunch of engineers who are responding to the support requests as opposed to going back and correcting those mistakes. So to make up for these shortcomings and side effects that are mainly due to the bad initial architecture and design, there's the birth for the need of an application support engineer or an analyst. But now you see that I'm using both terms, engineer and analyst. What's the difference? The difference is an application support analyst is not as senior as an engineer. It's an engineer who's on its way of uh, becoming an engineer that is more experienced or more respected in the workplace. So he's most likely in charge of interacting, some sort of interaction with the application, maybe extracting information, maybe making simple tweaks, um, probably the day-to-day of the application, whatever that day-to-day is. But by the time he becomes an engineer, he acts as the total custodian of such an application. So he's heavily involved in the installation, in expansion of it, in maintenance of it, in overall health of it. He probably gets involved in automations and writing different extractions and integrations. So the line here becomes very thin between that engineer and architect. So whereas if you're an analyst, you're more of a system administrator, whereas if you're an engineer, you're kind of closer towards becoming an architect. So from here, why this is such a big market, and it's very interesting. As the time of this recording, it remains a niche. It seems like not many people are aware of it because most of these boot camps and coding boot camps are focusing on making you a full stack developer. So it's very interesting. At the time of this recording, I visited a bunch of these boot camps. They don't have a track on application support. Um, so this is a huge market because the number of these applications are increasing, the usage is increasing, these applications, they need somebody to look after them. They need somebody to maintain them. Their maintenance does not fall into the hand of a DBA or a simple system administrator, because they most likely have the application level experience. So there is a huge shortage. But now let's go back to one of these earlier points. When I talk about enterprise level application, let's talk about what that is. So let's go back. I made you two diagrams here. This is a single node application, and probably this is a very stripped down application. So at minimum, you have a web server. First, let me tell you this: you could get away with just having a web server, and most of these other things, a search engine, middleware, and the database could just run on a single server. And I've seen this before. This could happen. But let's be more generous. Let's say that we have a dedicated server for your middleware, a dedicated server for your search engine, and your database. So this is what we refer to as a single node design. But let's see how things can quickly get very complicated. So in a multi-node design, you have obviously more of each server. You have more web servers, you have more middleware, search engines, and these are load balanced. So there's a load balancer that's standing between each of these components. Even your database is clustered. So you can see how, and even as a multi-node environment, this is probably a very simple design. So I'm just showing. I just created this to rather give you an idea. This is not an actual design, but you could see how things are gonna get increased, how things are gonna get more complicated. The interaction between your web server, your database, your middleware, even the search engine, especially with the need for the load balancer, setting up the certificates. That's if this complexity did not exist, probably we didn't have the need for application support engineers and analysts. But that's literally the idea behind it. So I hope that I was able to make my case and give you an idea of what is application support and why there's a huge market for it. Let me know what you think, and in the coming videos, we get more into how you can get started with this.